How's it going, everybody? In today's episode, we're going to be doing something that I mentioned towards the end of the last episode. And really, what we're doing now is we've proven the cars, we, as in me, have proven the car's capabilities on the streets and on the track. And now it's time to give the car a little bit of love in other areas that it kind of deserves. I've picked this angle of the camera to really show you this spot right here. Basically, when I bought the car, it was supposed to be a running, driving, and cosmetically good-looking car, which is a ton of miles. That proved to be false, and I couldn't see the car in person due to COVID. Water under the bridge now. I own the car. I've poured tons of money into it. And so kind of the next phase was, well, let's see if we can do something about it. So one of the things I'm going to be working on is the front bumper, which I'll show you later on in the episode because that actually needs paint work and I hate doing paint. So I'm going to ignore that and work on something that I'm more comfortable with, which is using a ratchet. Alright, so phase 2 of the cosmetic work is going to be kind of a, I guess, two-part of part 2. I don't know. Phase 1, I got some Meguiar's polishing compound, or rubbing compound. I'm going to try and polish out some of the scratches and just imperfections in the paint without getting too crazy with it. Try and really polish up this turd, you know, especially the rear bumper. The rear bumper was not the original one on the car, but it is the original paint color, which was a bonus, but the quality was like a 3 out of 10, maybe a 4 out of 10, so really not very good. If you look closely at some of the pictures that show the bumper, it's really not that good. Hoping I can get this thing up to like a 5 or a 6 with the rubbing compound. But really, what we're here to do in this part 2, is kind of focusing on the paint. So there'll be some polishing here, some bumper stuff. When I get to the bumper part, that'll be kind of towards the end. The rear bumper part, I'll do some like before and after pictures to see if was it worth it. Keeping my expectations low. I'm keeping my expectations low because, like I said, it's like a 3 or a 4 out of 10, and really it just needs to be repainted. But as I said in the beginning, I hate dealing with paint, so I already have a pain in the ass up front. In case you didn't notice in the last few pictures of the car, especially when I was at the track, it had a yellow front bumper. How the hell did I end up with a yellow front bumper? Well, my car's a 2002, and the 2000 to 2002 front bumpers is kind of boring. And I found a lead on a 2003 front bumper. The 03 to 05 has a not much angular design, and it really looks like the car is smiling. So, you know, that's all about, you know, what I like to do. If you see me in my driving videos, I've got a grin on my face that I just can't wipe it off. So the problem is the bumper was advertised as a silver one, and I had been texting with the guy back and forth, didn't get any more pictures. During that time, I found a buyer for the front bumper, and I was like, oh, perfect, I can sell this one and buy this one. But ended up selling the silver original 2002 front bumper on Sunday. And Monday, when I went to go pick up my 03 silver bumper, it was yellow. I didn't really have a choice. I had the track day coming up like 4 days later, and it was either show up with a yellow bumper or show up with no bumper and try to find another bumper. So I bought it. and now I got to deal with paint work, and that's what we'll be doing here. The long-winded version of I'm going to paint the front bumper is what I just explained. And to do that, I'm going to do the best I can. Like I said, I suck at this stuff. I hate doing it. I'm really dreading the actual painting of the bumper. But it's all in the prep, so I'm going to try to prep it as best I can. I've got different sandpapers. This has 220, 500, 1000, 1200 grit, wet and dry. And then I also got some 3M 800 grit sandpaper. So the plan is get that bumper nice and scuffed up, and then once I get it to a point where I feel like it's pretty good, nice and smooth, ready for some paint, I'm gonna spray it with this Duplicolor. It's a plastic adhesion promoter. Is this even a primer? Improves top coat adhesion. I probably should have read it before I bought it. Exterior. It was right next to the primers. I wanted to buy some primer so I could at least go from yellow to primer to ultimately silver. But I'll have to do some more research to see what the hell this is actually going to be for. But the plan was, once that is done, then I used this. It's Automotive Touch-Up 1D0 silver paint that I used for the duckbill. I'll need to buy like 2 more cans. I much rather have the spray bottle than trying to do something else. It just makes me more nervous for runs. So slowly but surely, something's gonna happen up front, and that's what I'm gonna do now. So we'll check. Alright, I hate sanding. That's quite a bit of 220 just to really get the rough areas smoothened out. Some of these scrapes that were deeper, it smooths them out. It's like that was half an hour sanding by hand because I'm stupid. Next, I'm going to move up to 500 because I'm stupid. Well, that took a lot longer than originally anticipated, but something kind of important happened in the last few weeks. I'm a father now. Woo! But none of you care about that. You only care about what happens here and what happens with my cars. So got got the new fender on. Looks great. Polished it up a little bit. There was some scratches. You can still see one of them, but overall, huge improvement. The other thing, which I'll snip in pictures if I probably would have already done it by now, but front bumper is no longer yellow. Bam, bam. Very excited about that. Got that out of the way. Car looks a lot better now. I should have a nice glamour shot, and I know exactly where I want to go take it and take a picture. And yeah, I mean, some would say this project's done. So I've tracked it. I've done a lot of canyon runs. I've had a lot of fun with it. And there's not really much else for me to do except just enjoy it. And unfortunately, that means sometimes I get bored because I like building stuff. I do have some things I'll work on, more aero related. Cosmetically, the car's not really going to change. Mechanically, the engine's not really going to change. I'm not changing anything. I built it exactly how I wanted to build it. And basically, it's what Toyota should have built from the beginning. But now that I've built it and I'm enjoying it, the mind starts to wander. And I'm not a wealthy man, and there's a lot of cars I want. And inevitably, that means that if someone comes along with the right offer on this car, it's on to the next one. If not, no big deal, because I have a blast in this thing. And I do have to say, I've built quite a few cars, and this one is up there, you know, for the bang for the buck, which is a huge thing for me. Flying under the radar, which is another huge thing for me. Punching above its grade, which is a huge thing for me. This checks all those boxes. There's only one thing that's really annoying for this car, and that's the only motivation that I have to let it go. And we'll see what happens. Foreshadowing, perhaps, but at the same time, not really. So that kind of gets us to, like I said, the car is done. Thanks for watching. Blah, blah, blah. And I'll see you when I see you.